Prison hulks, more commonly known as prison ships, developed in 1776 in Britain. Hulks were ships that were no longer considered seaworthy. Often, hulks would stay anchored at the same harbor for as long as they were being used. Leading up to 1776, British jails became overcrowded. The death penalty was regarded as a punishment that was much too severe for minor offenses like larceny and theft. Consequently, the British government transported prisoners to North America. However, after the American War of Independence, prisoners were no longer transported to North America. Instead, convicts were kept aboard hulks. Although this was a temporary practice at first, it proved to be cost-efficient and became an important part of the British punishment system. Before a ship can become a hulk, bars must be added to create cells for the prisoners. About 400 prisoners are usually kept on board a prison hulk. A prison hulk can be divided into three main regions: the upper deck, the middle deck, and the lower decks. The lower decks are the darkest and dirtiest. This is where the new convicts and convicts with bad behavior are kept. After 3 months of good behavior, a convict can move to the middle deck, which is brighter and less crowded. After 12 months of good behavior, a convict can move to the upper deck. Since the upper deck is drier and has better ventilation than the decks below it, there is less reported illness among convicts in the upper deck. A convict aboard a prison hulk would have lived a very dreary life. The convicts slept in hammocks inside of group cells. Troublesome convicts slept in individual cells on the floor. At around 6 a.m., the convicts would wake up and have breakfast. The typical breakfast was 12 ounces of bread and 1 pint of cocoa. After breakfast, they then began their work for the day. This could include cleaning drains, stacking timber, picking up trash from rivers, or mopping decks. At around noon, they had their dinner, which usually consisted of 6 ounces of meat, 1 pound of potatoes, and 9 ounces of bread. Afterwards, they went back to their work until around 6 o'clock, when they would have supper. Supper usually consists of 1 pint of gruel and 6 ounces of bread. After supper, the convicts finished up their work, then went to bed at 9 o'clock. If a prisoner was sick, he would be put on the gruel diet, which was 1 pint of gruel and 9 ounces of bread for every meal. The punishment diet was 1 pound of bread per day and water. Overall, prisoners were fed little and abused while working. A convict's life was not pleasant aboard a prison hulk. Prison hulks play an important part in Great Expectations. Magwitch was a convict on board a prison hulk. According to Dickens' biographers, the graveyard scene where Pip meets Magwitch is inspired by the churchyard at Cooling. This is located between the Thames and the Medway. Although this is what happened in the book, it could not have happened in real life because prison hulks were never stationed in this vicinity.